You want to stand out in a crowded market and you feel like your product or service isn't getting out to the right people because you think that it's oversaturated. You think saturation plays a huge part in the components of your offer and your business. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to relieve this pain, how to stand out in any market, no matter the crowding, and how to basically create a blue ocean for yourself, utilizing tactics from Blue Ocean strategy and also my very own tactics. I wouldn't say tactics, but I would say helpful hints and pointers. My name is Thomason. I'm the founder at createmrr.com. Currently working with about 20 active clients. We help agencies/B2B business owners install a recurring framework and a program called CMRR that helps them go from churn and burn $3,000 to $6,000 a month to $20,000 a month plus. So for those of you guys that don't know me, just had to intro myself a little bit, but let's get straight into the video. Now, the biggest questions that we have to ask ourselves when we want to stand out in a crowded market, it comes down to not only offering positioning, but branding. Now here's the deal. A lot of you guys are doing the same thing as the average Joe right next to you down the street, and you have to differentiate yourself somehow. And the best way that I found after signing 20 plus clients, and then asking them, like literally asking them, why did you work with me? What made you want to pull the trigger on me? After actually asking them these questions, you get to realize that what you've done with your brand is a lot more powerful. So I probably say about 18 out of probably 30 clients that I work with in total throughout the course of this specific offer actually have watched my YouTube channel for a significant amount of time. Now, this honestly allowed me to scale my offer very quickly. In the first 3 to 4 weeks, we cash clicked it about a little over $14,000. And then obviously we started using this recurring framework to help other agencies and B2B business owners scale. And that's kind of how this thing all started. More on that later. I'm not going to talk too much about CMRR in this video, but you have to understand that your branding is a lot more leveraged than your offer. There are 101 different offers that have the same style and copy and diction as your offer. And so now it's in our best ability to stand out. Now, what do? Market. The best way to stand out, on anything is to create a brand and to leverage that brand in the marketing side of things. So what do I mean by this? What are some actionable steps, Patrick? You're just kind of talking in circles here. Post on YouTube, get on Instagram, but get on Instagram and YouTube in a specific, calculated way. I would be giving you guys some very key steps, but first I have to illustrate a point. Alex Hormozi and an average Joe walk into a room. They both pitch the same product. They both pitch the same service. The average Joe has just as much qualifications as Alex Hormozi, but his brand and face isn't out there on the internet as much, which equates to the amount of trust that he has with his audience. Actually, there's no audience, so he has no trust with the consumers or business owners in his niche. They both pitch the same product. Hormozi gets 95% of the buyers and the average Joe gets 5%. Why? Brand. They recognize Hormozi's face. He's shown up a repetitive amount of times, again and again and again and again. These videos, I just spew at you guys. I give you guys straight game, straight value that I wish I knew 3 to 6 months ago, so you don't have to deal with the same stuff that I had to deal with. And this is going to be the most raw, authentic, and uplifting content that you're actually going to get. I guarantee you this is the most value-packed content in this channel. Will be the most value-packed videos that you ever watch. I guarantee you, because I hold nothing back. My last video just funnel hacked my entire system and stuff. So what you have to do is you have to now post on YouTube. You have to ask yourself, okay, how can I market myself so well where I can become a hero? And Brenton talks about this in his all of his expert secrets, .com secrets, traffic secrets. How can you build up a storyline? So what is your ideal lifestyle in detail? Who are the enemies? How can you throw rocks at the enemies? What beliefs that you hold that are controversial? The reason why these guys get to the top is because they have a brand story. Iman Gadzhi has a brand story. Single mother, wants to provide for her, went out partying a lot, realized that wasn't going to make him any money. He had to provide for his mom. Dad left, whatever, I don't know. Took it on himself to build out an agency. Now he's a hero. Hormozi slept on gym floors, built and scaled his own gym. Showed business owners how to build and scale their own gyms after that. Is now building and scaling companies. That's his hero journey. Russell Brunson, potato gun in college. Dorm, I think it was. And I don't know if it was a dorm, but college, he had this potato gun landing page, right? That's kind of his hero's journey. It failed, then he realized that he could do an upsell. Then he realized funnels. Rest is history. So like everybody has an origin/hero story. In my front end marketing, I try my best to talk about my experiences with working at Barnes & Noble's. Like that's kind of like the come up a little bit. Working at Barnes & Noble's, reading in between shifts. I would get paid $11 an hour. Didn't really enjoy what I did, but I just reinvested everything back into books. Obviously, a lot of my books aren't here. I got over 60 books. That's besides the point. but you have to loop in your hero's journey in order for your audience to resonate, trust with you. Like, I just graduated high school a few months ago. That in and of itself resonates with a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys are out here trying to make this thing work, and a lot of you guys are out here who are still trying to scale up your own agency, past 6 figures a year, like, who are in high school or who just got out of high school. And that's only applicable to one piece of the audience. The other piece of that's applicable is, like, I did door-to-door sales for like a year. Not consistently at all. I probably went, I would say, once a month. It's actually probably less than a year. I wasn't consistently at all. But the entire point of, like, the fact that I did these experiences resonates with other people. So get clear on what your story is and literally write out your life as it was like a movie. Write out your life as, like, what happened here, what was the bridge that happened here, what was sort of the climax of your journey. Like, what did you achieve in order to get your desired result? And that is very measurable with people. And I think there's some very reputable people in the space who do a really good job at this. Like, I've already mentioned this, how, it just kind of happens. Like, you have to, it happens, but it's so calculated. And you can stand out in a crowded market by posting yourself on YouTube and on Instagram and making yourself different. Like, you have to figure out your unfair advantage. Is your unfair advantage something with the circumstance that was dealt to you by default? Like, something happened in your life that was uncontrollable? Because those are typically the most powerful, unwavering circumstances. And those are highly leveraged in the character story because you had no control over it and it just happened in your life. Like, your house burned down or something, or like, it wasn't until you realized that a family member did this until you wanted to start this journey here, then this is what led you on to here. And so, like, there's multiple different levels to it and things like that. And there's circumstances that you took into your own hands that crafted you into the person that you are today. And so for me, it's like working at Barnes & Noble is like what I always talk about. How I worked there, that crafted me into the human, into the reader, into the person, to the businessman that I am today, because it allowed me to actually understand that wasn't for me, that wasn't the path that I wanted, but it also gave me a good lesson that it's like, hey, look, if you're going to continuously work paycheck to paycheck just to reinvest back into books, it's not going to work out very well, because that's where it's all going to go. You have to realize, got to make your money work for you. Very, very, very basic concepts of rich dad, poor dad, leverage, assets, and liabilities, stuff like that. Not going to get into that. Craft your winning story. Everybody has a winning story. You have one too. I have one. Everybody has one. And so it's in my best interest to share this with you guys, with the Barnes & Noble's door-to-door sales, and then achieving the desired outcome. Like, write it down. Write this down on a sheet of paper. Where did you start out? How did you get into the space? What struggles did you go through? What was the climax of your journey? What did you achieve that is desirable to others? What topics, interests, or skills do you have? Who is the enemy? It's very important in marketing that I learned this from one of my old mentors, that we throw rocks at the enemies. So for instance, if I'm inside the agency space and I'm talking about paid acquisition, should move that. And I'm talking about paid acquisition, and I'm talking about how to utilize paid ads to scale your business. And I'm telling you about how, my recurring framework in CMRR helps you guys not only start running paid ads, but it helps you build out a lead nurture system that doesn't allow any prospects to leak through the pipe, whatever. If I'm talking about paid ads, that's gonna be my main strategy. What is my enemy? What is the direct opposite of paid ads? Organic outreach, cold acquisition. And so it would be in my best interest to target against cold outreach. Hey, look, you're spending money on people that it's not even predictable that they'll even respond to you. Nobody wants to hear their inbox. Nobody actually replies to you. I guarantee you the rates on cold email are extremely low because no one simply cares about you. You build a name to a face, but that's about it. Most of the time, they don't even click on your email. If you have these cold acquisition and outbound strategies working, you're bound to fail because you don't have a consistent and predictable way to actually build up your own business. If you utilize paid ads, you know exactly what you're getting every single day. You know the eyeballs that you're reaching, and you know that it's targeted as well. And you know for a fact that you have a direct response ad or anything like that, people are going to want to talk to you. People are going to want to see what you have to say because you paid to be in front of them. You're going to get the results just as quickly as you pay the dollar. So do you see how I use these different attributes to talk about them? If I'm on the side of paid ads, my enemy is organic content or organic content to get leads. I love organic content, but the enemy is like, it's an inconsistent, unpredictable way of getting clients unless you have a huge personal brand above 1 million followers, because it's always feast or famine with organic. You never know what you're going to get. 1 month, you'll get a few clients. The next month, it will be completely dry because none of your videos popped off. You cannot rely on the algorithm. It'll shut you off immediately. That's the type of diction and copy that I have to be talking about when I'm making these types of enemies. And so the same thing would be direct response marketing. So you run a paid ad. and you go straight to a form or something like that, direct response marketing. Or the other one would be like branding, like running ads to your brand to build it up. And that's another like black and white controversial topic. Like Russell Brunson's huge direct marketing and Gary Vee is like huge brand. That's kind of how it goes in the space. And so if you want to stand out in more crowded markets, you want to be a reliable figure in your space, simply figure out your unfair advantage. Where do you want to go and how are you going to take people with you? What are the enemies along the line? What beliefs do you have that others might think are even offensive? Where did you start off? How did you get to where you wanted to be? What struggles did you go through? What's the climax of your journey? What did you achieve that is desirable to others? What topics, interests, or skills got you there? When we craft a hero's journey, a story, because this is essentially what this video is, how to craft your own lore. And when you craft your own lore, you put it back into the front end marketing, it's insanely powerful because your product or service gets sold on absolute autopilot because people resonate with your story. Like there's so many people that just bought Iman Ghachi's Agency Accelerator course because they just resonated with what he said. They resonated with the single mom. They resonated with the wanting to get rich. They resonated with the doesn't want to go to college. They resonated with the education system's effed up. They resonated with all the things that he talked about for years on end. And then by the time he launched the product, he already had so much room and will of goodwill that people were just immediately buy from him. And that's the epiphany of branding. And the reason why I'm constantly making him examples because that's probably the best one I can give you that's closest to my age bracket. The other guys that are older, I can't really speak on because I wasn't around when they were coming up. So that's probably the biggest thing that I would say. Figure out your unfair advantage. For me, in my raw videos where I just like have the camera up here and I just talk to you guys, I talk about Barnes & Nobles. I talk about the struggles that I face, talk about how I'm a self-critic. I talk about how, home and stuff like that. And like talk about just various different things that help you guys resonate with me. And I do that to build trust with you guys and show you guys that I'm somebody who is reputable. I've done this stuff. I've booked out my calendar, 7+ appointments in a month. I've done this stuff. I'm doing this stuff. I'm building up a program and I'm here to document the journey. And so if I can show you guys that side of me and deliver value at the same time, it is in my best interest to do that. And then boom, I just created a blue ocean in of itself. I have no competition because I'm in my own lane. And I just stood out in the most competitive and crowded market, which is agency, coaches, B2B, etc. That's how you have to view it. So some key actionable takeaway, steps on what you should really be doing right now is, if you don't have a YouTube channel already, what are you doing? We're in a digital age where everybody relies on YouTube, platform, social media. If you don't get on YouTube, or if you don't get on Instagram, if you don't start putting your face out there, the prospects that you want to speak to and the clients that you want to sign will just sign with somebody else who has a personal brand. And I'm not saying you have to build up $1,000 personal brand or you have to, show your face every single day, but you just need to have a layer of at least 4 to 5 videos on your YouTube channel or on your Instagram, providing authority, giving out game, and giving out proof about what exactly it is that you do and like resonation. Now, obviously, if you have over 170 videos on a channel like I do, it's a lot easier to sell people because there's just more volume, more things to watch, and more people can watch me over and over again. I'm not saying you have to get to that point, but I'm saying if you have a solid brand, this is why Hormozi invests a lot into his content, because he understands the utilization and the power of it. More eyeballs to my face, more sales to my bank account. That's kind of how it goes. So that being said, start posting on YouTube, start giving out a bunch of value, start up a newsletter, start up an email list, whatever it is that you have to do. You have to put yourself in front of people and you have to stand out in the most unique way possible. So figure out your hero's journey. Hope you guys wrote down all those different questions. Figure out what makes you different, what separates you, and I promise you, you'll make 10 times more sales. Promise you, your closing will drastically increase. The sales calls that you take will become a lot more smooth because of the simple fact that you stood out with your brand before everybody else did, and you created a niche of your own. Therefore, you don't have to compete with anybody. My name is Thomason. Go check out the 2 links down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.